the power of persistence. Ford's fight against doubt. Henry Ford wasn't born into privilege, nor did he rise to success overnight. His story is one of relentless persistence, quiet war against doubt, failure, and ridicule. Before Ford became a household name, before the assembly line revolutionized industry, he was just a man with a vision that few believed in. And yet, what set him apart wasn't just his engineering mind. It was his unwavering determination to keep going when others would have quit. From a young age, Ford showed a fascination with mechanics. He would dismantle and rebuild watches, study how things moved, and ask questions others never thought to ask. But in those early days, curiosity was not seen as a strength. People around him believed he should focus on farming or a steady job. When he left home to pursue engineering in Detroit, some saw it as foolish. But Ford had already learned one of life's hardest truths. The world doesn't always support those who dream big. His first automobile venture, the Detroit Automobile Company, failed miserably. Investors lost faith. The public doubted his ideas. He was told repeatedly that no ordinary man would ever want or afford a car. But Ford didn't view failure as the end. He saw it as feedback. Each mistake was a lesson. Each setback, a stepping stone. Most importantly, he refused to let the doubt of others override his belief in what was possible. Ford once said, "Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal." That quote wasn't a slogan, it was his reality. While competitors focused on wealth and exclusivity, Ford focused on accessibility. He envisioned a car that wasn't just for the rich, but for the everyday worker. People laughed at the idea. They called it unrealistic, even ridiculous. But Ford persisted. What many forget is that the Model T wasn't his first career, was the result of years of experimentation, loss, rejection, and failure. When others gave up after one setback, Ford recalibrated. He believed that problems existed to be solved, not feared. This mindset became the engine behind every success that followed. When Ford introduced the idea of the moving assembly line, even his own engineers resisted. It sounded chaotic. But Ford had already learned how to trust his vision, even in the face of collective doubt. He studied, calculated, refined. And when the system finally launched, it cut production time from 12 hours to just 90 minutes. The world changed because one man refused to surrender to doubt. Ford's persistence wasn't just mechanical, it was deeply human. He believed in people. He believed that workers deserved good pay, that customers deserved products that empowered them. He often faced criticism for doubling his workers' wages. Shareholders called it a disaster. Economists warned it would destroy profits. But Ford persisted. And in the end, not only did his workers become loyal, they became his best customers. Every revolutionary idea Ford had was first met with disbelief. People doubted that cars could be affordable. They doubted that ordinary workers could be paid well. They doubted that efficiency and humanity could coexist in industry. But Ford challenged every doubt with action, with proof, with persistence. There were moments when the pressure could have broken him. Public scrutiny, financial risk, the constant burden of leading through resistance. But Ford's persistence wasn't loud or aggressive, was focused, patient, and unshakable. His power didn't come from fighting others. It came from mastering himself. He knew that if he gave up on his own dream, the world would follow. So he stayed the course. This quiet strength, this inner engine of belief is what Napoleon Hill admired most about Ford. it's why. Ford became a central figure in Hill's studies on success. Because while brilliance and resources are important, it is persistence, the daily decision to keep going, that separates dreamers from achievers. Ford lived by this principle. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't seek applause. He simply did the work every single day. One of the most powerful lessons from Ford's journey is that doubt never truly disappears. Even at the peak of success, there were always new critics, new problems, new fears. But Ford learned not to silence doubt, but to outlast it, to show up regardless, to build regardless, to believe regardless. The power of persistence, IS&T, and always knowing what comes next. It's in taking the next step anyway. It's trusting that momentum will come, that progress will appear, results will follow. Ford understood that. He taught us that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. So what can we learn from his fight against doubt? That vision means nothing without resilience. That greatness isn't granted, it's earned in the quiet moments when no one is watching. That persistence, more than talent or luck, is the true engine of transformation. And in a world that often rewards quick wins and loud confidence, Ford's life reminds us of a deeper power, the ability to keep moving forward even when the road seems endless. To believe, not because others do, but because your soul demands it. You're nuts. That's the power of persistence. So, if you're chasing a dream, building something new, or standing in the middle of doubt, remember Henry Ford. Remember that every revolution begins with a thought, followed by a decision to never give up. Your breakthrough might not be loud. It might not come overnight. But if you persist, it will come. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let Ford's legacy remind you daily. Doubt is loud, but persistence is louder.